Hello, mortals! This is the BookTube Goddess, the #1 drag queen booktuber on YouTube. Thank you. Since my reaction video to The Legend of Vox Machina, the title sequence, a bunch of people in the comments told me about the new campaign just starting. So I watched it, and there's 2 episodes out right now, and I became hooked. I'm so fascinated how Matt Mercer, the Dungeon Master, incorporates story into his campaign. So I thought it might be interesting to analyze the episodes in terms of story. Now, if you want me to continue doing this series, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to hit the notification bell. If people are interested, I'll probably be doing more of these videos. Now, I've said this quote before. The medium is the message, meaning stories need to fit the medium, whether it is plays or musicals or novels or movies. You can't just transpose one to the other. You have to transform the stories to fit the new medium. Anyway, D&D campaigns are a totally different medium. Though I've played in campaigns where DMs have used novels or stories as inspiration, it is really quite different how these stories unfold in a role-playing game. Usually the Dungeon Master will want at least one big battle in each session, though if you've played D&D enough, you know it's easy to frustrate the DM when instead you go on a shopping spree. But since Critical Role is being broadcast to an audience, the players are aware that they're not playing a game just for themselves, but they're also performing for us. Also, the Dungeon Master and players are all voice actors, though there's a lot of great improv, which frankly you don't usually see in D&D games, but watching it here is exciting. In episode 1, we basically are introduced to the characters and get some idea of what their individual subplots may be. Our first 2 characters are 2 female magic users who have recently arrived in the city of Drusar on the continent of Marquette. One is a purple-haired human sorceress named Imogen, played by Laura Bailey. And she is trying to gain access to a magical university to do research, but isn't able to get through the administration.
Immediately looks up and makes eye contact. Hello, might I help you?
Do you remember me? We came here a couple weeks ago.
Right. Have you not been contacted?
No, and I just figured, you know, the windowed wall is such a packed-in sort of area that maybe you got our address wrong, and you have been trying to contact us, and I just wanted to make sure you knew that we were available for an appointment whenever you needed.
Allow me to inquire beyond the doors and see if there has been any sort of adjustment or change in your request process.
Thank you so much.
Excuse me.
Thank you.
The door shifts open and you watch as Cynthia steps out, carrying what looks to be a small piece of paper or an envelope or some sort of folded thing. Goes, this was intended to be delivered but could not find your boat, but...
See, I knew it. They're just gonna say, Miss Imogen, Temult, that's me. I'm just gonna open it up right now. I hope you don't mind, because I would love to find out when we finally get to come, because, you know, we came really far to be able to do this. Miss Imogen Temult, you spelled my name wrong, but that's all right. We are appreciative for your inquiry regarding our internal collection of tomes and historical records. Unfortunately, much effort has gone into the acquisition of our library for studious purposes, and at this time the conservatory cannot allow individuals not enrolled within the conservatory, nor granted approval by either the Coterie coterie or the Shandacorum entry to our... Okay, cool, fine. Yeah, that's great.
My apologies. Have a good day.
No. I actually have one more question.
Mm-hmm.
How would one get approval from the Guru coterie? Mm-hmm.
And we don't know what she's searching for, so that's a storyline to be developed. Now, I'm a little disappointed in Imogen because Laura Bailey is probably one of the funniest and bawdiest of the Critical Role players, and Imogen just seems kind of bland. My guess would be that Laura Bailey, the actor, wanted something different from what she's done before, but I'm hoping there will be an opportunity to grow the character to allow her humor to come through. And with her is Laudna, played by Marisha Ray. Now, she's a warlock sorceress who is ooky spooky.
It's at this point, Laudna, you notice there's a pair of dwarven children that are kind of off the side of this small alley that are just kind of staring right at you. They both kind of get spooked and kind of retract, but not completely out of the way.
What'd you see?
It's two kids. A little spooked, it seems. Where did they go? Are they still looking?
They're still looking. They feel like they hid, but they're still kind of peeking around the side of the corner.
I'm curious. Hang on. I'm just gonna go over.
They both kind of immediately go and like try and hide further down the alley.
Are we playing hide and seek?
They both look terrified.
I jump out. I found you.
They both scream and run past you. One runs through your legs. They both scatter out into the street.
I'm friendly.
You know, I don't think it goes over quite as well as you think it does, you know?
I love kids, though.
Laudna.
Do they love?
Laudna, no. They don't.
Fuck.
They're like, you know, fun, scary, like...
Fun, scary.
Yeah.
Okay, I am fun, scary.
Laudna, you're scary.
I'm scary.
Yeah.
I'll work on
But in a good way.
Thank you.
Yeah. Comes in handy.
I kind of want to just talk to the kids. I feel like maybe they know something.
They know something what? Like how to get into the, you know, maybe they could sneak into the conservatory.
Yeah, maybe they know, like kids know stuff like that, like weird little sewer entrances, because they're tiny, so they fit in small places.
Now, I have to be honest, Marisha Ray in the past was probably my least favorite of the Critical Role players, not because she was bad or anything, but because there were times when it felt to me as though she just went a little too far, a little over the top, maybe to try to keep up with the other characters, if that makes sense. Yeah, it was a case of someone trying too hard. You know, there were times where I'd kind of be like, oh no, too much, Marisha, rein it in just a little. That said, I am completely in love with Laudna. So far, I really am enjoying Marisha's take on this woman who is maybe some kind of undead, and I am getting big Morticia Addams vibes, and that's fantastic. The next two characters we meet are in a bar. First is Ashton, a barbarian earth genasi, played by Taliesin Jaffe. Now, Taliesin Jaffe, if you don't know, was a child actor who played the youngest child in the movie Mr. Mom, which, believe it or not, I saw in the theater. So, yeah. Anyway, genasi are some sort of race of elemental humanoids, and Ashton is non-binary, and their head has a crystal window in it. And we don't get much of their backstory except they cuss a lot and they're a mercenary.
As you stir for a moment and kind of sit up, in your bearings, a familiar voice goes, "So when are you going to wake up? You're being lazy." So you hear Milo from around the corner.
Fuck off. What time is it?
It's afternoon.
Fuck.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
It's at this point you begin to take in the smell of some sort of cooking meat that's filled the room a bit. And as you push past the hanging lantern to your left and what looks like a kind of a makeshift kind of cloth bed that dangles between two portions of the room. You can see on the work shelf to one side and the kind of metal iron skillet placed upon a little heated device that Milo has created. You see Milo. Now, Milo, to bring this over here.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. I'm trying to make sure everything. So he's a non-binary human, kind of early 20s. He's like funny beige skin, large glasses, and a knitted cap. And they're in the process of cooking up some food. And said, as soon as you're ready, there'll be food. It's almost done.
Oh, that's fucking brilliant. Shit.
Scrapes it off onto a piece of sheet metal, kind of puts a couple small bolts off and kind of places them back in a shelf that they keep.
Could have used that, but that's okay. Have you seen fresh cut grass around?
Now, Taliesin is probably the player that those of us D&D players like watching because he will exploit every single little rule and loophole as much as he can, especially when his character is a homebrewed class, meaning specially designed with the dungeon master. Like in Vox Machina, he was some sort of gunslinger, which wasn't a normal D&D class. And he's so good at it. He doesn't argue with the DM, which is always awkward when that happens. But especially on live streams, he's always polite, just asks a question, accepts whatever the DM says. But it's so much fun watching Matt's face come to the realization, oh yeah, I guess that's how it works. You can tell when it's coming when Taliesin says, this is going to be fun. Ashton, the character Taliesin plays, has some sort of gravitation ability and chaos magic effect. I'm really curious about how their abilities are going to develop.
Pop my hammer on the ground real hard, and I'm going to rage. And I'm doing the gravity build, so
Okay.
here we go. The crystal, it's the glass inside my head starts to get a little dim, and light just seems to get a little dimmer around me. There's just this strange.
The broom immediately begins to almost act like it's being pulled slightly towards you.
Ashton's companion is fresh cut grass. A robot played by Sam Riegel. Of course, by robot, we mean some sort of steampunk automaton. Fresh cut grass is a cleric, a healer with interchangeable body parts. Anyway, as silly as the character sounds, and it is silly, Sam Riegel is the funniest, in my opinion, of all the Critical Role players. He is a ham among hams. We do get some backstory that Fresh Cut Grass is a lone survivor of a group of adventurers before hooking up with Ashton. He has a slight southern accent, maybe.
Hi, I'm Fresh Cut Grass. What do you mean? I'm Fresh Cut Grass.
That's your name?
That's what I'm called. Yeah.
Oh,
Like your first name, or is Grass your middle name? Or your last name?
or cut grass.
Yeah, hyphenated?
I'm just called Fresh Cut Grass. I don't really distinguish between a surname or anything like that.
Did you give yourself your name, or?
No. My former associate gave me my name. She named all of her creations after her favorite smells.
Oh, that's lovely.
There was a bunch of us. There was me. There was oatmeal. There was apple pie. There was pussy. There was a bunch of us.
Wow.
It's so nice to see other people having to hear this. It's really just bringing everything into sharp perspective.
This has been a day.
That took me a bit by surprise.
This has been a day.
What was your name?
Wow, it was just thrown out there so quick.
Did you say send help?
I can't wait to see how this character develops. The next three characters are three friends that arrive on a ship. Orym is a halfling fighter played by Liam O'Brien. Liam is every dungeon master's wet dream. He plays his character straight, as in straightforward, is serious, and always pretty much sticks to the role. Orym so far fits into what I've seen of Liam's playing style, and if he plays the sort of role he did in Vox Machina, he'll likely be the rock that anchors the other characters.
Oh. Can we talk in your room for a minute?
Yes, come in.
I kind of want to do this thing, but I didn't want to speak for the two of you.
Oh. What thing?
What this guy Bella's talking about. I don't even know really where to start. And this seems like it's probably a dead end, but it's at least a start.
We were just pointed in a direction. How we achieve what we're trying to achieve is up to us, I suppose. And we don't know anyone here.
Yeah.
Are you okay with it?
I'm along for the ride. I am. I know we have things to do, but
I know you don't like to take the lead, Orym, but this is your choice.
I think it's stupid. I don't think it's gonna work, but there's something biting at the back of my brain. I feel like
we've done pretty well with stupid so far.
Yeah.
Okay, well, stick with what works, I guess. Okay?
You feel okay about it?
Yeah. I'm not gonna figure it out all at once. This is just day one, not even.
Is it okay that we take this detour? Will she be okay with it?
I think so. If we're lucky, it's not a detour.
One of his companions is Fearne, a female fawn played by Ashley Johnson. She maybe is the best known actor in the cast, having a big part in the TV show Blind Spot. Anyway, in the Vox Machina campaigns, she played a cleric, and she didn't really stand out for me, except I got a lot of new player vibes from her, which is fun to watch when she'd get excited about magic items and stuff like that. Anyway, she was never a standout for me, so I was pleasantly surprised at how much I really liked Fearne. Fearne is super tall. I kept envisioning her as a small little treant. But anyway, she's a fawn with green hair. She's of the druid class, I think. But she also picks pockets, so...
And then just steps out and immediately kind of...
As he starts to step out, I'm going to try to swipe it. I'm going to try to take it off his ear, grab it. Because I like it a lot.
Make a sleight of hand check.
Been here 5 minutes.
She's the one we're supposed to be looking out for.
Hold on, let me move my scrunchie out of my dice tray.
Oh, okay, that's a natural 19.
Oh.
Plus 2, so...
Wow.
He exits briskly, making a... For such a large, beastly-looking entity, the steps are quite gentle and quick as he exits. A moment later, you can see Fearne in her hand clutching this gathered chain of gold and silver with a particular symbol on it that looks almost like a metallic hammer with faces lightly carved on the edges of it.
Fearne?
Mm-hmm.
We talked about this.
What?
I know that it works most of the time, but that is going to get us in trouble.
I told you a story about someone picking my pocket 30 seconds ago, and then you pick someone's pocket?
That was a priest.
Just don't get on my ass about it. All I know is that it's pretty easy to do here. That's all I took from what you said.
Oh my God.
It's beautiful. And it's for the god of arts and crafts. I think that's what he said.
Just close enough.
Skills.
Put it away in case he comes back, please.
Okay. Gosh, take it easy.
As a note, this is about 2.5 feet long. Much smaller on the ear of its previous carrier. On you, it like drags your ear a bit, but it looks cool.
Anyway, Ashley plays her as a super naive or maybe willfully naive person, and it's just fun to watch, or better yet, fun to listen to, because her voice is somehow both deadpan and musical. The third member of the trio is Dorian, played by Robbie Daymond. Now, I don't know what's really going on here because this isn't someone who was a Critical Role player before, so maybe this is a guest player, or maybe he's a permanent cast member. I don't know. But anyway, Dorian is an Air Genasi bard with blue skin and black hair that ombres to white and blue. He likes ombre a lot. Anyway, I don't know anything about Robbie Daymond. So far, he's playing Dorian as a pretty basic bard, but we shall see.
1 second. Barkeep, what was your name again?
Look over at the individuals there at the edges. Ashir. Ashir's my name.
Ashir, nice to meet you. My name is Dorian, and I am a bard. I was curious if you had any entertainment for the evening.
See? Gives you a real, it goes from the smiling, patron walks up to a fucking musician, kind of a glare, and kind of gives you a look over, make a persuasion check.
That would be a 7.
7 goes. We don't have entertainment for the evening. If you want to play, do it near the front door. That way, if it goes poorly, it's quicker to kick you out.
Deal. And listen, I work for tips.
Good luck.
And I'm very happy about it now.
So much. Cold in here fast.
And where a bouncer normally would be, I'm just gonna set up a little spot for me. I'm gonna.
You go over and as you start setting up, there's a nearby table of looks like 3 kind of soot cover, hand cover, almost minor types. You see one that's a half elf, probably pretty deep into his cups. You see what looks to be another human who's kind of youngish, kind of thin but scraggly, scratching his neck, and a half orc who's in the process of gargling a drink. And they both all of them look over at you, sit up, and go, "Oh fuck."
And I will sit down and I will pull my lyre out and tune it, and boing, 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 not quite right. And it tunes for a little bit too long. And then he looks over at the half orc and goes, "What's your favorite song?"
Jordan, fetch my whiskey.
Don't know it. And I just start playing whatever.
You start going? Make a performance check.
Oh my god! Is it a 1? Tell me.
That would be a 1.
Yes.
Yeah. Plus
Yeah.
7.
Plus.
But yeah.
Natural 1.
It's natural 1.
You get that grin on your face, and people are starting to lean over in anticipation for this guy's got some bravado, got some confidence, and there is an air about you of you don't know what you're in for. Ping! String breaks. First strum in. Immediately. Laughter starts picking up around the space.
I'll immediately sink into myself, put my lyre back, quietly pick up my things, accidentally drop one of them, pick it up again, and walk back over to Fearne. Not my bad.
Are you Dorian Storm?
No.
Oh my
Please.
Now we know there's something up with these 3, Orym, Fearne, and Dorian. They've just arrived by ship to the city. There's something they're running from, or maybe there's something they're running to, so we know there's some mystery here. Now the last character is Bertrand, played by Travis Willingham. Travis is a fantastic role player and ad-libber when it comes to over-the-top personalities. In Vox Machina, he played Grog, a dumb barbarian, to perfection. Here, Bertrand is an older fighter described as in his 70s or 80s. He's full of himself, ingratiating, self-serving, a teller of tall tales, a blowhard, totally pompous. He's basically a blustering old man who knows he's full of shit. And I love everything about this character.
I'm gonna get out into the hallway and find Bertrand's room. Give it a little gunk 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 gunk.
First ship, right here.
Yes.
Bertrand is naked.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's 7:30. Were you asleep?
7:30 in the morning?
No, it's barely.
Oh, yeah, no.
We just saw each other 30 minutes ago downstairs.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Who are you?
I feel really.
Oh, yes. No. I remember. I'm sorry. I work a lot during the day. How can I be of service?
Gosh, this is stupid. You said that you know a lot of talent here in town. You help sort of hire or find people for the type of work you're talking about?
Well, from time to time. I've made quite a name for myself in various cities, and so my name carries a certain weight, and I know that for a fact that this Lord Estros is in need of people, and for the moment it seems that talent is sparse.
So people know you. Do you know people?
I do. Yeah, I do.
Do you know a man by the name of Brescio? Oshad Brescio?
Brashad Brescio?
Oshad.
Oshad Brescio. Does that kick anything around in the old noodle?
Roll a history check.
Hold on to your butts. 9.
Nope.
Rashad Brario.
It's your final form.
It's like a snapshot of the future.
Dark mirror.
There you go. What about... I'll just try one more. What about somebody named The Anger? Does that mean anything to you?
The Anger?
I know it's a long shot.
No, I do feel like I would remember someone just...
Yeah, it's a pretty specific name.
Anger. Someone here in Drusar?
Yeah, a friend of a friend. Of a friend, yeah.
Sadly, no.
Okay.
A friend of yours, though, not...
Not of mine, just someone I know is here. Somebody capable like us, maybe more so. So I thought you might have crossed paths.
Well, I mean, if his name is the Anger, I mean, is it worth bringing him in on our little venture? Would he be an asset?
Maybe. Gotta track him down first.
Ah. Perhaps, just perhaps, we could arrange this introduction first, and then we can bring him in on our merry adventures.
Okay, yeah. All right, cool. Sorry, didn't mean to wake you up. Really good sword work out there, though.
Oh my God.
I look up and down the hall.
Did you need anything else?
I just sort of take him by the finger and I lead him over. I think it's time for, I'm gonna go.
See you in the morning, Orym.
You got it, Belle. Good night.
In the first episode, all the characters come together to battle animated furniture that bursts out of some crates in the middle of a street. Then Bertrand offers them a job on behalf of Lord Estros. The job is as some sort of mercenaries, and they are all interested in the job for different reasons. Imogen and Laudna for clout to get into the Magic University. The trio from the ship, Orym, Fearne, and Dorian, maybe for information. and Ashton and fresh cut grass for, of course, the money. Episode 1 ends in a cliffhanger. Lord Eshtaroth is an old, powerful half-orc warrior, I think, and he wants to test them. At least we think he's going to test them. So, in the next episode, it's the Halloween episode, so all the players and Matt the Dungeon Master dress up as each other, which is kind of cute. Then we do indeed find out that Lord Eshtaroth was testing them to see if they were powerful enough to be his agents. He tells them that there are bad people in the city of Drusar, that he's trying to do right. Find out that Bertrand, the old sellsword, who introduced everyone to Lord Eshtaroth, has been disgraced somehow in his last adventuring party. We don't really get that many details, but we also get some other teasers, like the 3 from overseas, Dorian, Fearne, and Orym, seem interested in assassins, so maybe they're looking for an assassin. These subplots are left to be developed in future episodes, I'm sure. Anyway, the Ivory Syndicate are the bad guys and are stealing from the Day-All Hall, which is a school of some sort that Lord Eshtaroth patrons. Now, the group is asked to secretly investigate and stop the thefts, and their first stop is at a textile warehouse. Now, in traditional storytelling, the important thing is to set up the conflict or the complication. In D&D, it's up to the DM to set it up as well, and this can be dealt with in various ways. However, in Critical Role, there's a bit of a challenge here because in D&D, the audience is usually the players. But here, we, the audience, are watching the audience, the players. Does that make sense? I think I'm confusing myself now. In other words, D&D was never meant to be a spectator sport. So we're in new territory here. Now the conflict is that the bad guys, the Ivory Syndicate, are stealing from a school and our heroes must stop them. But we don't get that until like 6 hours into gameplay. Can you imagine a book where you don't find out what the initial conflict is after 6 hours of reading? It just wouldn't work, not in a book. But it works here because that's how the medium of D&D works. Remember, the medium is the message. We are engaged simply because it is so much fun watching these voice actors improvise and interact with each other. Like I said, it's new territory of entertainment because it's a new medium of storytelling. It also works because the Critical Role players know that they're playing to an audience, so are more likely to follow the nudges and the direction of the Dungeon Master. That's not always the case in D&D, where sometimes players, either willfully or naively, go in a different direction from where the Dungeon Master is trying to lead them. The DM has to use Magician's Choice, which means every path leads to where he wants you to go. For example, let's say the DM wants you to investigate a vampire house. And the party meets in a bar because that's sort of the traditional meeting place in D&D because all players seem to be alcoholics. Anyway, there's an old drunk that talks about a vampire that lives down the street. Or someone he thinks is a vampire. So you would think that the players would just go and investigate, but instead, there's always someone that decides he doesn't want anything to do with vampires. He wants to go visit the brothel because there's always that guy. So they go to a brothel, but then they find out that one of the prostitutes has just been bitten by a vampire. Now, the DM himself had to improvise and add that in because whatever choice the players make will have something to do with vampires until they finally decide to investigate the vampire house. That's Magician's choice. Anyway, even though the Critical Role players know they're playing to an audience, us, they're still ad-libbing and don't know what's going on and just taking clues from the Dungeon Master. And that's what's so fun about watching Critical Role, or I guess watching any D&D session. Like I said, it's a new form of storytelling, which is what makes it so interesting. Anyway, there are always unexpected tangents, like Fearne the Fawn tries to steal an item from Lord Eshteroth, Laudna the undead warlock or sorceress uses her dead rat as a marionette.
Don't tell Pate.
Wait, what?
He doesn't mind. He doesn't mind.
Pate is my dead rat.
Oh, I'm sorry. What?
Yes.
This is an amazing detail that we just passed right over. You have a dead rat?
Where are you
looking? This is Pate. Pate de Rolo, specifically.
Pate de Rolo?
Yes.
Can I hold
Would you like to meet him?
Yes.
Pate! And about this time you see like rubber bands snap from each of Laudna's tips that go to his head and each of his 4 limbs. And they kind of look like rubbery black sinew. And she lifts him up and kind of starts puppeting him. Oh, hello, I'm Pate de Rolo. Pleasure to meet you. Look at you.
Well, hello, can I shake its little paw?
Oh, hello, pleasure. Oh, I've never met someone like you.
I never get used to
Ashton,
it.
are
I
you
never
seeing
wanted
this?
to end. This is amazing.
2 years. Never get used to it.
How often does it happen?
Say hello to the big.
How did you attach the skull bit? That's amazing.
Oh yes, did you like that?
I
It's a
really like
raven
that.
skull. It just died in my house one day, ran into the wall, and so I just thought I would,
I can
make some
barely see your
adjustment.
lips moving. It's amazing.
I've had lots of practice.
What a work of art. My
Thank you.
goodness.
Oh, I think you're pretty fine looking myself. Oh, Pate. Oh.
I'm sorry.
You're so silly.
I'm sorry. Did you name the dead rat after the De Rolo family? So why are you puppeteering a dead rat?
Well, you see, Laudna here was quite alone for quite some time, and she kind of needed somebody to keep her company, or else she would go insane, especially because it was just me and that voice in her head. He's so silly.
I can only imagine that Matt Mercer, the Dungeon Master, had planned to end the second episode with a battle. But because of tangents like that, the story ends with the players in the middle of staking out the textile warehouse after the warehouse workers leave. They do gather some information, notably that maybe there's some type of smuggling operation going on, as they found evidence of rare magical ore in the warehouse, and maybe that's what animated the furniture in episode 1. We're still at the very beginning of the story, but we do at least have the initial complication. The Ivory Syndicate is some sort of organized crime ring that is probably involved in smuggling magical components, and our heroes are trying to uncover and stop them. And we know that each set of characters have backstories and hidden motives that we don't know yet. Overall, I am really excited about this new campaign. The characters are really interesting. My favorite is Surprise Laudna, run by Marisha the Morticia Adams character, who is funny and creepy, and frankly, I'm surprised at how good she is. My other favorite is Bertrand, the old blowhard who doesn't seem to be quite trustworthy. If you've seen this new season of Critical Role, let me know in the comments who are your favorite characters. Until we meet again, may all the books you read be blessed.